Hey, it's Dr. Rimka, your brain optimization expert with Brain and Body Solutions and brainandbodyrevolution.org. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of you are sick, a lot of you are tired, a lot of you are not living your best life because how you feel physically is really affecting your ability to do things that you love and enjoy, spend time with your children. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of people are really confused about simply what to eat. We seem to be the only animal on earth that needs 47 books and a formula to figure out food. I know it's confusing, and I've been doing a lot of videos and trying to help you guys figure some of this out, but I want to kind of say this. There's a lot right now about the message out there that eating vegetables and more fruits and more plants is the absolute ultimate solution to all your health, physical woes, your emotional woes, and even your stress and worry woes about the crash and burn of planet Earth. But here's the thing, is any of that true? Is eating more fruits and vegetables really the answer to up-leveling every part of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health? Now, I'm not going to unpack all of that, but right now there's a big documentary, and it's why it's in there, called Game Changers on Netflix. I haven't bothered to watch it yet. I'm going to have to do it as I watch every health-based documentary, as I watch all the read health-based books and ways of eating. I've kind of been through it all. Been in this game in the functional medicine, health and wellness field for 25 years. So I'm right now going to say yet again, I don't think you need to eat any fruits and vegetables to be healthy. I don't think plant-based is the way to go. And that's a huge shift for me because I was a vegetarian for 14 years. 12 of those, I was a vegan, okay? And actually, somebody just popped on who's somebody who helped me in my health journey tremendously. Love to you, Jeannie. So, why do I not care now if my child doesn't eat any vegetables when I cook dinner? Why do I not care and in fact tell my mother to stop eating so much salad? Why do I do that? And how did I go from 12 years as a vegan to now well over a year? I don't track time well. I think I'm maybe 14 months in to a way of eating that many people are calling carnivore, okay? How did that happen? Well, on the real quick, I became a vegan, I got really sick. I stopped being a vegan, I got really healthy. There's your short answer. But let me also say this, in clinical practice, my main focus is brain improvement. This brain is roughly 70% fat. And of that fat, it's a whole bunch of saturated fat and cholesterol. Now, in my journey of this, I was being brainwashed with a lot of dogma that being vegetarian and vegan was the most powerful thing I could do for my health and the most powerful thing I could do for my spiritual self and the most powerful thing I could do for the planet. Then I started actually looking into other things. I forced myself to relearn and rethink constantly. Not everybody likes to do that. We really love confirmation bias. We really like to be right. You really hate admitting you were wrong, made a mistake, and you have to change gears. My mother kept telling me to stop doing this, and I did not listen. And I had to eventually, with my tail between my legs, go back and say, you're right, you were right, I should have listened to you. So in her older ancient wisdom of at least basic food groups, watching how her mother and her father ate, nobody was a vegetarian and everybody was lean and strong and healthy, pretty old, all right? We did not have the epidemic of neurodegenerative diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's we are seeing right now after they started telling you to stop eating meat and to go low fat and to eat more vegetables, all right? So in clinical practice, I was seeing patients all the time, and the reality is the ones that taught me first were the irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's and ulcerative colitis patients. Now, even though that wasn't my primary focus in practice, I'm dealing with the brain, they still were coming. They wanted brain optimization. They wanted better attention concentration. While they're dealing with this, they also had poor attention, foggy brain issues, memory issues, sleep disorders, anxiety, and panic. Well, that's what I do. So it was like, well, I can't ignore what's going on. I'm looking at the lack of gastrointestinal support they're really getting, and so you have to do it. And I also knew more because I'd worked with so many children with autism, including my own nephew, and we had to address his intestinal tract. You have to heal the gut because a poor inflamed gut will lead to a poor inflamed brain. So I already knew this connection, so I'm having to juggle the two. Absolutely, without a doubt, over years and years and years of seeing patients, my patients taught me that the less vegetables they ate, the better they felt. Now, this was a tough thing for my mind to wrap itself around, where I just had to keep taking vegetables away from all these people. But the reality is, for somebody with one of those GI tract disorders, it feels like chewing glass to eat any of that. Okay? And you have to honor that. You have to listen to your patients. My philosophy, my personal way of eating or anything else, or meditation or prayer, has zero impact on what is going on with my patients. Okay? So they taught me that. And so I started going to seminars. I started taking classes. I started reading books from other people that I did not agree with. Most people don't choose to do that, but I suggest you start. It is very important to start listening to messages that are different than what you think. It broadens your mind. Sometimes you just learn empathy and compassion and understanding, and you can have better communication and relationships with people that you don't agree with. That's fine. And sometimes it's going to change your mind and change your life, because you'll have more information, greater knowledge, leads to some wisdom, so you can change your behaviors. So ultimately, I changed my behaviors. I radically changed my life. I went from overweight, depressed, severe hormone disorders in my 30s, of menopause, on thyroid meds, on estrogen replacement, on all hormone replacement. It was a nightmare, horrific time of my life, but I just kept pushing on, lying to myself and everyone else, because we want vegan to be right. This can't be wrong. This can't be what's doing it, right? So eventually my starved brain starved all my hormones, and I, in tears, listened and started eating some salmon, and started taking away the gluten, and took away all that soy, and less, the more I ate animals, the less I don't even like a vegetable. So it was like, okay, I gotta eat all this stuff. And now that I've found my way here, I have the freedom of never eating anything I don't feel like eating at all, because I don't actually like any of them, because they're kind of disgusting. Okay, so I'm here to tell you can game change your life by up-leveling your meat. All right, so let me why? And then, and my website has tons of videos, and my page, but I want to just say this. This is something really quick that I go over with patients. And this is kind of like a way of eating chart. And I'm going to tell you, basically, it's going to go from basic into the center, our bullseye, where I kind of live now. But you can be healthy in some of these other areas. I don't have to say everybody needs to go carnivore, but many of you don't know about it, and you need to know it's an option. So you need to hear the story that you don't actually need to eat a fruit or vegetable. I haven't eaten one in like 14 months, and I feel amazing. I'm almost 47. I'm leaner than I've been definitely 15 years, the last 15 years. I'm not where I was when I was 17, but I'm still working on it, okay? All right, so here we have this. Standard American diet. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are eating the standard American diet, you will never out supplement, out juice, out water fast, out anything this diet on your health. You can stop spending all your money on potions and lotions and any other magical treatment you think is going to make you healthy, because you will not be healthy eating this way. That's a game over, all right? Now, the standard American diet can be full of meat, and it can be vegetarian. you guys can do that either way. You are not going to get results. If you think doing this and taking pills and going to get a little bit of, adjustments and acupuncturist every now and then, you're gonna be living your best life, you are delusional. So let me break that up right now. This isn't gonna work. You cannot out-exercise this, you can't out-supplement this, you can't out-doctor appointment this. There's no drug that's gonna combat this. It's not gonna happen. So my patients are not allowed to live here. If you are gonna stay here, you cannot be in my practice. You will no longer be a practice member, and adios. Because I like results. I like to empower and get people going where they want to be, so they can be a commercial for me. They're never going to be a commercial here. So let's just part ways now, okay? So I want to let you know that it's your choice. You can live there, but don't keep blaming your doctors that you don't feel well if you choose to stay there. The next phase, kind of a way of eating, people hear about is called paleo. So this is a bare minimum of where I want my patients to go. We're going to move to paleo. You can look up what that means, but it's basically taking out things that humans absolutely cannot digest, such as grains, breads and rice and flours and some ridiculous things that we've only been eating in about 10,000 years of our adaptation with agriculture, all right? And using a lot of technology and machinery and factories and things to be able to do. So paleo. That's a basic, if you want to, whatever, here's your therapies and your supplements and stuff are going to at least be working for you. It may not be a waste of your money, but you're probably not going to be optimal. The next kind of phase that people will go into, and I'll tell you, you're eliminating things from your way of eating here. The next phase people often go into is called AIP, which is Autoimmune Paleo. Some other diets in here I would say are Wall's, a famous MS. GAPS diet would fall in here, basically about, to me, gut and psychology syndrome. I use this tremendously with children on the spectrum. We use this a lot with people as we're transitioning them further. If they have autoimmune disorders and they've been trying this, they've got to go deeper and eliminate even more things, such as eggs that are high allergens, inflammatory. You can look up Autoimmune Paleo. Wall's is a very special MS protocol that I'm certified in. You can look that up, all right? So there's that house, the wheel to live in. This is better than this. I'm going to tell you that right now. And paleo can be really standard American diet version of paleo. Many of you are just eating candies and saying it's paleo. That's not going to get it, boo. I'm just saying. Don't blame paleo if you're just having paleo pancakes all the time with honey and maple syrup, because it's allowed, all right? You're not fooling anybody but your own physiology, okay? Then we go into where we up level a little bit more. And I would call this the low carb, high fat. You might be hearing that, low carb, high fat. That's up leveling even more, taking some stuff down. Most people are getting even healthier and healthier and healthier. What's happening is people are jumping, from one level to the next. And this standard American diet to paleo is absolutely the hardest. That is the hardest. If you have not done that yet, this is what you need to wrap your mind around. Do that and never go back. Then, as you live in this space, you might live paleo for 6 months or a year or 2 or 3, and you may stay there, or you might be here 6 months ago, I really need to go here. Because if you're fighting a condition, you don't have time. And you know that because your suffering is unbearable and you need to do something to get back into your life and take care of yourself, your family, your children, right? So they're little leaps of upregulation, a little bit more, it's mostly eliminating things, and it's a lot of eliminating plants, okay? So we do these little jumps. So then low carb, high fat, very popular right now. My goal is to get people really to here. So that's my bare minimum paleo, bare minimum. Again, your standard American diet, you won't change. You are not welcome to be a patient. You cannot join the practice. I have a 12-month wait list. I don't need that because that's really hard to deal with. Join one of my groups or something like that, do something else and we can jump you there. But to be a patient, really have a functional medicine program customized to you, I'm gonna blow your mind too much and you're not gonna know what to do. So I like people to be primed and ready at least so their brains will actually accept what we're doing. It can work. I have to change it and I can't change it on the standard American diet. All right, so low carb, high fat is really a nice goal, right? Another up level within there, and these two get interchanged a lot, is called keto. Now, I'm not going to go into keto and low carb, high fat and what's the difference or any of that, but just they're being used interchangeably mostly. That's fine. You know, we're no food police, diet name police, doesn't matter. So I just want to let you see what these are. So if you've been hearing these words and you're confused, this is how it kind of looks. Now, the next level is where I've been living for over a year, 14 months or something like that. Now, I went through all of these. I went through every single phase, living in a certain amount of months or years. So when you have a person who's been low carb or keto for years and they jump into what we call carnivore, it's a pretty easy transition. As you can see, to go from here to there, a little bit different. We're going to have a little bit of adjustment for you, right? Your physiology is not where my physiology was living in the keto space for a long time. So I already very little sugar addiction, no grain addiction. No, you understand? My brain metabolism is totally different. I have a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol rotating through my body all the time. I'm satiated differently. My body knows how to naturally fast and intermittent fast. It's no big deal. I'm super fat adapted. I'm chewing on my own fat all the time. This person is highly dependent on sugar constantly to give them energy, to give them mood stabilization. They get hangry. These people never go through that. We can eat, not eat, could care less. 3 days later, oh, did I forget it? Oh, right, I'm hungry. Very, very different emotional state, stability state, addiction state, compulsive state that goes on between these people and these people, all right? Then we have carnivore. That's what I'm saying. I've been for over a year, no fruits and vegetables, don't want them, don't care, and I have my reasons for it. You are not going to get the answer to have your ultimate health solution with eating more fruits and vegetables, and dear God, don't you dare juice them. Carnivore now is all about basically I just eat 100% animals. That's it, nothing else. Now, I'm in this category where I'm kind of a mild carnivore because I do a little bit of plants in the form of coffee and I do some alcohol, okay? And I also do dairy, a little bit of cheese. Now, it's not my primary protein, but I do sprinkle that on my things and have heavy whipping cream in my coffee because I love it. It's my plant medicine. It's my drug. Y'all can do what you do. That's what I do. Then we can go right into here and call it like strict carnivore or zero carb, really strict. They're no coffee, no alcohol, no spices, herbs, anything like that, and no dairy, no cheese. So it's really, really zero carb. There's very little. I'm getting a little bit in my cheese. I have a little bit of plant medicine. I'm okay with plant. So for me, this whole situation is that my food is animal and my plants are used as medicine. Any herbs I choose to use, my coffee, those are all medicinal in my life, right? So many people they think of plant medicine, they think of like psilocybin from, magic mushrooms or something, but that's a real thing, and it's a real thing in lots of things. So there are reasons at times to use plants as medicine, and I'm not opposed to that, and we do that in many of these situations. Up in here, we're loading somebody up with a lot of sulfur for a very specific reason, and once we get them stable, we might move them down to here for another reason. So I just wanted you guys to at least have some context to understand that you don't need to eat any fruits and vegetables, and stop fighting with your children if they really hate them. Cook them up a steak, give them some salmon, introduce them to oysters and shellfish and mussels and stuff like that, right? If that's new and provocative to you, okay, we can start some conversations, and I'm gonna do more videos. There's some videos on here about my carnivore experience. I talked about it in 2 months and 4 months and 6 months and different times, and I was just going to basically do a 90-day experiment. I don't think 30 days is long enough to really test anything out, because many of you, if you're here, you may feel much worse at 30 days on carnivore. Just be prepared. But if I joined CrossFit today, being that I'm unconditioned, I don't work out, I don't do anything, and yet I have a lot of lean mass, and I have pretty low body fat for a 47-year-old woman, almost there, for doing zero exercise because of an injury. I don't want to get confused by it too much because I'm not talking about muscle. I'm going to get into this too much. I have a lot of that stuff on there. Let's just leave it at that. But, you know, my response and your response might be really different. Let me just say, so if I did that and I went to a CrossFit, you know, gym for 30 days, I'm going to feel really bad in 30 days. I'm not going to feel good. It's really extreme and really hard. This is kind of extreme and it's hard just because you're so unconditioned. So many of my friends who are big athletes and they do another type of fitness, they go to a CrossFit for 30 days. They'll feel better in 30 days. Does that make sense? So where you start kind of matters how you're going to feel in 30 days, but 90 days gives you a totally different shift, and there's been a lot of adaptation. So consider it. There's a lot that people talk about 30 days as a trial. I really think you need at least 90 to really give anything a shot. 30 days isn't a long time, but all right. So I don't think veggies, fruit are the ultimate solution to any of your health conditions. You know, you might get a short-term benefit, and we can have another video explain why that is, but long-term, you're gonna lose muscle, you're gonna gain fat, and you're gonna lose the power of brain function and cognition in terms of structure. It's a problem. You desperately need saturated fat and cholesterol and a whole lot of it to feel strong, stable, and happy. All right, guys, see you later.